Go. So, welcome everyone to our Katie Career Talks, and we have Andrea Perez, an alumna from King Drew, and we have our students Star and Faber who will be asking the questions. So, let's start with Star.
So the first question I have is, why did you choose your career slash major?
May you repeat that?
The first question is, why did you choose your career slash major?
I chose my career. I actually changed it along the way. I went as a engineer, um, and then I went through some challenges in my life. I lost my mother. She became sick while I was getting my undergrad degree at Cal State Long Beach, and she left two younger siblings, two younger kids, which are now like my kids. So just being involved with them, and then one of my sisters, she's special ed. She has something that's called microtia affecting her hearing and her development. So that made me change my career path to social work. I also grew up in the city of Compton. Compton has that negative stereotype. And then when I transferred to USC to get my major, my master's degree in social work, I was always criticized. They're like, "Oh, she's from Compton." So I always wanted to change that about my community. I grew up in the farming area in Compton. Not many people know of, so I'm always very proud of who I am, where I come from, and then keep good relationships with your teachers. They're also there for you to guide you and just guide you along the journey. That's one of the key things. So yeah, just many things around me influenced me and to change my degree and become a social worker.
Was your current career your dream career when you were in high school?
Maybe not my dream career. I mean, I've always wanted to be a teacher as I was young. That's something I stick with, which I am right now. I help kids with special needs, RSP teacher. But like I said, like along the journey, you just like see new things and you can change. You change the way you think, what you like, especially when you connect with people. Something I've always really liked since I was little. I like politics a lot. I've always been involved in my community once it's election season. So I just wanted to be there for my people, my community, and yeah, that's like I said, like it wasn't my dream career, but it's something I like to do.
So when did you start to see your current career as something you should pursue?
That's in the year of 2014. I graduated in 2012 from King Drew, and I went straight to my bachelor's. Like I said, I started in engineering. My mother became sick in 2014, and that's when I like had difficulties with like keeping my school and my home responsibilities in balance. Um, then I met some peers at one class I was taking. It was a Chicano studies course, and they knew what I was going through, so they supported me a lot. And then my teachers, my professors, like I said earlier, communication is key. Always communicate with your teachers how you're feeling, what's happening in your life, because they can really be just motivators, you know. Uh, like I said, my mom became sick, and all those professors and friends were there to support me. So that's when I decided to change my degree and get my master's, my bachelor's in Chicano studies. And I really liked that as well, because I was learning more not only about myself but my ancestors, my community, and why we have these stereotypes are based on race, on gender. So that little by little it started, to develop, and I liked it more and more. And that's when I say like, hey, I'm gonna change. And then, like I said, just having to find more guidance and more support when my mom became sick and unfortunately she passed away. I was referred to counseling, and that really helped me move on with my personal life. So I wanted to give that back to someone else. So that's why I'm where I'm at.
So could you tell us what a general salary looks like for someone that's going to be in the position or career you're in?
I mean, the salaries vary depending on what you want to do. I mean, you could work for school, depending on like what type of job you want to do. If you want to be like an actual teacher or just a social worker or do like counseling, the it varies. So it can be like from 25 to now. If you get your counseling degree, which I'm still debating on getting or not, your salary can be higher. You could work for, and that's what I like about this degree. You know, you could work for hospitals, you could work for schools, you could work for organizations. So it's like a big branch of places you can work and different salaries.
Mm. What was your career like before COVID-19 and how has it changed?
Uh, yeah, it has changed a lot. Now we're all online, so that has been very challenging. When it was in person, you know, just being with the kids, it was easier to build that rapport, you know, build that connection with them. Right now, online, it's a little challenging, especially to get them to focus. I work with um, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth graders. So it's a little challenging just to get them to focus. You know, there's a lot of things happening in our lives and in our houses. You know, our parents sometimes are there, our siblings, you hear all this noises, but it has changed like a lot. I mean, I had to get used to like this whole system. I never took online courses while I was getting my degrees because I like that more physical connection, you know, being able to build that connection with your professors, having conversations once class is over, with your peers. And it's very challenging to do, but I'm glad that we have that technology is this advanced that we are able to continue to grow. I mean, like I tell my peers at work, like it's not only the kids that are learning, we're also learning because you know you have to adapt to all these new changes, all these new programs. But I mean, it's been good. I mean, I'm glad I still have a job. I have many peers who lost their jobs due to this whole COVID. But I mean, I'm just grateful that I can continue to work thanks to technology.
What motivates you to work in your career choice every day?
What motivates me? I have a lot. My family, most importantly, my young siblings, my family, my father, and my community. Like I said, when my mom became sick, my community was always there to support me and motivate me. My neighbors, you know, just me being involved a lot. They always believed in me, and I always say like, if I stop, I'm not only gonna let myself down, but I'm gonna let all those people that are around me and look up to me down as well.
Is your workplace people oriented? And if so, how do you maintain good relationships with your coworkers and your colleagues?
Yes, it's people oriented, and just I always say like the key thing to maintain a good relationship with coworkers, it's just accept everyone for who they are. I mean, sometimes there's disagreement, and I've always been a person that uh, I don't only think about myself, but I think about others. So yeah, like say a situation it's going on. I mean, for example, I'm gonna put my family as an example. When my father started dating, you know, and we were gonna get a stepmom, it was kind of challenging for me and for my eldest sister. But I was not only thinking about myself, you know, I was like, you know, my father needs a partner. My siblings are young; they need that role model as a mother. So just being able to get yourself in that other person's shoes, that's very helpful. So like I said, there could be misunderstandings, but it's always good to let people know how you feel, speak up, and just work it out.
Do you see
Can
the
you hear me? Oh, my bad. I don't know if you can hear me. My question is, should
your work ever take a toll on your mental?
You're cutting off a lot. A lot.
Why don't you type your question, Taj?
So my next question is, do you see the value in students learning things that can help them prepare for the future?
Can you repeat that?
Do you see the value in students learning things that can help them prepare for the future?
Yes, yes, I do. Especially right now, all these skills, just being at home, getting your education, kids at a young age, they're learning how to navigate, how to use all these programs, which was something I really lacked. I mean, yeah, I knew the basics, but these skills can be very beneficial in the future. Like I said, I'm still learning, but I'm glad that kids are getting the opportunity to experience this because it could be very beneficial since most of the jobs right now they require technology knowledge. They require you to learn how to surf all these programs, all these websites. So those are skills that are very beneficial.
And the question Taj was wanting to ask is, would you say that your work ever takes a toll on your mental health?
Yes, I mean, I believe every job does, but like I said, you have to learn how to keep that work-life balance. Once you feel you had enough, it's good to say, like I said, you have to learn how to speak up, and it's good to have that clear communication, and let them know how you're feeling. Let people know, your boss, your coworkers, and take some time off when needed for yourself, for your personal well-being. So that's very important. And yes, like I said, jobs can sometimes get to you, and it can affect your daily life. And once it starts to interfere with your personal life, then that's when you have to take some time off and dedicate it to yourself.
So what key points do you think us, the students, take away from your presentation?
Can you repeat that? You're cut off. Sorry.
Sorry. What key points would you like us, the students, to take away from your presentation?
A key thing is, build relationships, build a support system. Those are individuals that would always be there with you. Like I said, I've been through my personal challenges, and I always have people who I would speak to, and they would either give me feedback or guide me or give me their point of view. So just building that support system, having that clear communication, and continue to communicate with your teachers. Once you're out, it's great to see them because they know who you are, where you come from, and just keeping that communication, building that relationship. I think it's very important because I mean you're always gonna need those letters of rec, that guidance, that support. So that's one of the key things I would say. And then another one is just be yourself. Be yourself. Um, be proud of who you are, where you come from. Like I said, I was always stereotyped or thrown these negative comments when I would probably say I was from Compton. So yeah, just be yourself, and if they don't like you for who you are, then that's not where you belong. And just keep moving, get up and keep pushing.
So what encouraged you to give your presentation to us high school students?
I was encouraged because just knowing our background, our stereotypes, as minorities, and then especially right now in this era, it's very challenging. And what always motivates me is that I like to share my story, my personal challenges, so that others can get motivated the same way I was motivated by teachers, by professors, by friends. So I always like to share my stuff, and hopefully I get to motivate you. Maybe at one point in your life you're gonna be like, hey, I remember this student at King Drew, she went through this. So I mean, if she got through that, I can do this too. So I always want to spark that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So that's one of the key things. I always like to motivate my people, my community, and just be there for them. So this is why I'm here.
Did King Drew prepare you for the career that you partake in now, and if so, how?
Yes, I was very glad that I learned many of the skills that I was gonna need when I was in college. I had friends who weren't familiar with many of the skills needed. For example, like writing professional papers, using different formats, the APA, the MLA. You know, my peers were struggling and I was like on it. They would send me their documents like, hey, can you help me? Do I have it in the correct format? And just they prepared me in that way. And then they also prepared me in the idea of being very organized. You know, I still take notes. I mean, people laugh. I'm like, I'm old fashioned. I like writing everything, take notes, and I mean, yeah, being on track, being on schedule. So that's some of the things King Drew taught me. You know, just to be prepared, and always be on it. You know, and then also the idea of asking for help. I mean, I would always run to Miss Dick and Miss Soto herself knows me a lot because anytime I had a challenge, I would let them know, and then they would give me their feedback. So yes, I feel that they did prepare me.
Can you share some memorable moments of your career or life after leaving King Drew? It could be good or bad.
Do you want them of while I was there, or just like from when I left?
Yeah, from when you left King Drew.
Uh, so one of the memories maybe was that moving to another city. My father decided to move to San Bernardino um, a couple of years later, and that was very challenging for me because, like I always said, I always love my community. I'm always very proud of being from Compton. So I always try to find a way to stay there, and fortunately, I'm still there. So yeah, like I said, always fight for what you want, and you're gonna get it.
Do you have any like words of advice or words of wisdom that you would like to share?
I mean, words of advice, like I mentioned earlier, just be yourself, love who you are, where you come from, always be proud of your people, your roots, and never be ashamed of yourself and no one around you. Just be yourself.
I think that's all the questions that we have. If anybody else has questions, and they can, but if not, thank you for coming.
Okay, no, thank you. Actually, if there's anyone else that has a question, you can definitely put it in the chat since we have Andrea here. And Andrea is one of those people that she comes to the speaker series every single year. She makes it a point to make sure that she's always here, that she's representing, um, just because of her connection with her, with the community, with the school. So I appreciate that. So if there's any questions, just put it in the chat. I think we have one here. Okay, so Taj Henry says, was it hard for you to do well at King Drew?
Uh, I mean, sometimes it is a little challenging to keep that balance. Sometimes the work can get to you. But I mean, I managed to get through. Like I said, I always had good communication with my teachers, with my counselors. So anytime I felt I was falling behind, I would ask them for feedback and for guidance, and they were always there to support me. So yeah, I mean, it can be challenging at one point.
And the next question, do you have horses since you live in the farm side of Compton?
I don't, but my neighbors do, and my friends. He has racetrack horses. He usually goes to Los Alamitos to race his horses, and sometimes I go with him.
What was your college application experience like?
Uh, for my undergrad, I felt that it was good because I had the good um, guidance. King Drew was always on me like, hey, this is due by this date, so you have to have it days before. It was a good experience. I had peers to my college peer counselors to help me with the process. Miss Dickpin, she was always on us. So it was a good process. When it came to my master's, it is a little challenging because I did that mostly on my own. But fortunately, like I said, I had my professors that I always leaned upon. So anytime I didn't understand something, I would run to them like, hey, professor, like, what does it say here? Like, what exactly does it want, or is it asking? So I think both of them, it was a good experience. Just having the correct people around you, it can be very beneficial.
Absolutely. I think thanks for sharing that because it's so true. We do have a great um, college counselor, and you have your peers, and I think that's one of the things that I love about King Drew is that everyone is always helping each other. Even though there is some sense of competition of getting to certain schools, everyone is willing, to help one another from and asking questions. And really, you need to start getting used to not being afraid to ask questions and finding out. Um, and if you know due dates are coming up, making sure that you also remind your friends, remind your classmates, hey, don't forget, this is due. Um, there's all because it can be overwhelming, the whole college application, because of the fact of all the different schools you're applying to. They have different requirements, they have different essays or questions that you have to answer. You have to have your letters of recommendation. So you have to be pretty much organized and have a nice calendar where you're going to put everything, your Google folder of where you're going to put all your documents as well. Um, Making sure that you have a list of teachers that you're going to ask, that you have your brag sheet ready, um, that you ask in advance, well in advance, it, at least 2 weeks in advance, and or even before, having people proofread different parts of your essays. And then there's the financial aid, the FAFSA. FAFSA can be very nerve-wracking to fill that out because you're you have to ask your parents for their W-2 forms and or their taxes from the previous year, and your parents, they don't know sometimes, and the first thing they want to know is why. Why do you need this? Why? Or they can't find it. Or, it's something that you can need to start asking your parents too, that eventually, you are going to need their taxes done earlier if they don't do them as early, and just having copies. So this is actually a good time to tell your parents to get that paperwork organized and have it in a place that you're going to have access, because you're going to need that for your FAFSA for the following year. But yes. Okay.
And then referring back to our parents, I mean, it's very important that I was very happy that I had that support system as well, because just being first generation, most of us are first generation college students, and it can be very challenging because our parents don't know anything about the process of applying, of filling out the FAFSA. So I was very fortunate to have that support system at King Drew. And then once you get used to it, then you can help other individuals apply. So I always be there to guide others. I mean, my sister, she's going to college this year, and I was thankful I learned these skills at King Drew, because I was now able to facilitate her process of applying to college, doing all these forms, getting letters of rec, etc. So I think it's very important.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Andrea, for saying that, because that's my same experience. I had to do everything on my own. I worked closely with my college counselor and my friends. We helped each other, but it's definitely true. If you're first generation, or if your parents have no knowledge, you have to realize there's situations where parents help their students fill it out and everything. And, many times we're on our own. And that could be very daunting and even more stressful because it's a lot more on our shoulders. But again, you have to ask for help and seek out all the resources. And you're at King Drew, and we have many resources from our teachers to the college peer counselors to the college counselor. So definitely,
That's beneficial. So take the help.
yes. Okay, are there any further questions? Because if there are no further questions, okay, I just want to say, Andrea, thank you so much. Thank you so much for, always being available to our students, for always coming back and, sharing your wise words with our students. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me here, and sorry I was late. I have some stuff for work, so I got distracted. Fortunately, Miss Dickson, she reminded me, so I was like, ah. But thank you guys for having me here and having this space. I think it's very beneficial just to be able to speak to you guys and know that you guys are not alone. We always face challenges, obstacles, but you always have, like I said, you always have to find your strength to keep moving. You have to find something that motivates you and just keep pushing.
Thank you.